Well, the reason is the simplest reason is that because no one else is.
Well,
So
thank you.
that's the main reason. Okay. But then we have to take a step back. Like, how did I even come to that? So when I was training and studying, we were learning at that point about the immune system and autoimmune conditions. And I remember there was like a table in one of our textbooks and it had a list of, I think there was 80 main autoimmune conditions.
Wow.
So just looking through it, just like scanning the names, just to become familiar with them.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing towards the end of the list, it said, I can't pronounce this. And I was like, how on earth do you say that? And so I Googled it I like typed into Google
Yeah.
Sjogren's syndrome pronunciation.
Yeah.
That's, and I wanted to hear how you're supposed to say it, just in case, like if I get a client one day who has Sjogren's, I'll like at least know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
And then so then I Googled the pronunciation. Then because I was there already, I was like, oh, what is that? What actually is it? So then I just Googled a bit, what is Sjogren's? And I guess because it was like at the end of the list, which it very often is,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I guess I had a feeling that it's probably just like some niggle. There's some autoimmune conditions that aren't like such a big deal. Like
Yeah.
maybe this is just like slightly not that important. If it was important, we would have heard about it, of course. And if a lot of people had it, for sure we would have heard about it. But then I started just like basic reading. I think it was a Medscape or something like this. Like, and then I started seeing that it's like the second most common autoimmune condition. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, this makes sense because I've been studying autoimmunity about it for a while at this point, and it
My
hadn't come
goodness.
up. We were
Like,
studying about diabetes type 1, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus,
yeah.
multiple sclerosis, ankylosing spondylitis. I knew all about these.
Wow.
Never heard Sjogren's. Not one of my tutors ever said it. Not hadn't come up.
And how long ago was this?
6 years ago,
Really?
five,
Okay. Okay.
uh, 6 years ago, probably. Um,
No
and
wonder it was right at the bottom. Yeah, yeah. I'm surprised it
yeah,
was even in there. Okay.
well, often it's not.
Yeah.
Very often it's not, and that's what happened. So, okay. So, secondly, firstly, I realized that it's really common.
Yeah.
Second most common autoimmune condition, more common than most of the ones that the people on the street and practitioners know about
My
or have
goodness.
even heard of. And then I thought, okay, maybe it's not that bad. And then I started reading about like the actual symptoms and the how how bad it is really. And then
Yeah.
I just went down this rabbit hole because I was so intrigued by this. Like, so what if that's the case?
Yeah.
Then why aren't we studying it? Like the second most, why is it? And I don't have an answer for that. Well, I do have kind of an answer for that I've formulated, but basically what happened is I just became super interested in it for various reasons, also from a therapeutic side, because then I was like, well, maybe we aren't learning about it in nutritional therapy college because there isn't much you can do about it nutritionally. It's like a thought. Well, so then I started researching the nutritional elements of it. What has been researched? And like almost every condition, there's tons of research. There's tons of, it's not as much as other conditions for sure, but there's tons to work
Oh,
with.
is there? Okay.
And I'm just like, well, okay. I just kept on just following this, and eventually I was like, um, yeah, that's basically that's how I got into it. That's how I got, yeah, into it. And then I knew that I wanted to focus on a specific condition because I knew that if I was going to, once I graduated, if I was going to go into practice and be a generalist, I would have had a very tough time. The way I am is I'm very detail oriented. So
Right.
if I had, in one day someone coming to me with IBS, and then after them someone with I don't know what show,
Lupus or something. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then I'm constantly going to be having to like
Yeah.
research and that's what
That's
happens.
a lot of research.
Yeah, that most practitioners who are generalists, like
Yeah.
they burn themselves out because you can't. possibly know enough about a condition.
And they wouldn't then in that case, yeah. So it's really good
They
when
wouldn't. So what they
somebody,
would do is they would treat the person substandardly. Is that a word? I just made it
I
up.
don't know, it sounds good.
Substandardly. They would treat the person substandardly, superficially, and
Yeah,
I am like, that's not me.
yeah.
I really wanted to. So I was like, I would like to find a condition. And originally, I thought I was going to focus on cancer. Going
Huh.
into nutritional therapy, I thought I was going to focus on cancer. I wanted to focus on things where I felt like the conventional system wasn't
Yeah,
really supporting people enough.
yeah.
Because I was just some things that happened. I saw people falling through the cracks. I was like, I feel like that's what I want to do. Like,
Oh, bless you. That's
just kind of
lovely.
like,
Yeah,
and then in Sjogren's was just like, this is like, this needs attention, and
yeah.
people who have it really just left without any support. And I thought, I think I can make a difference here, and that's what I did.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you on behalf of everybody who's got Sjogren's, honestly. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's great for us.